A certain hush envelops a man's existence when the home is devoid of the comforting sound of familiar footsteps. It is familiar to many men. The vacant chair at the table. The still evenings when no one inquires about the tales of their day. They toiled with dedication, nurtured their families, and weathered life's tempest, but now, silence envelops them, and the silence pierces the soul. It's about the echoes of companionship that linger in the silence. It's a tale of being overlooked, as if the universe has continued its journey, leaving them behind. Companions often find themselves caught up in the whirlwind of life. Silence envelops the room, as the phone remains still, untouched, waiting for a call that never comes. In the stillness, inquiries arise of one's left unspoken when existence was bustling. Do I still hold significance? Has the divine turned away from me? But what if this silence isn't merely an absence but a portal waiting to be opened? What if the divine chooses these serene evenings to communicate, not through thunderous roars, but through gentle whispers? Perhaps the solitude serves not as a punishment, but as a time of preparation, a moment of reverence, a realm where a man encounters something profound beyond the mundane sacred essence that fulfills what remains unaddressed by others. For in those moments of stillness, when the noise of life fades away, the spirit begins to listen. In that profound silence, one may uncover the truth that solitude was merely an illusion. There arrives a time when silence transforms from mere background noise into a reflective surface. For countless men, particularly as they traverse the later chapters of their lives, that mirror reveals not accolades or achievements, but rather the echoes of dreams yet to be fulfilled, the dreams that never came to fruition, the ones who departed, the whispers of hopes that linger in silence. And in that mirror, a fissure starts to form not in the ego, but in the heart. It may arrive in the stillness of a late night, as you lie wide awake, lost in thought, or amidst the quiet of a solitary dinner at a table set for two, or even in a place of worship, amidst a crowd, yet sensing a profound solitude. And so, we arrive at the moment of transformation, not at the moment of shattering, but at the instant a man understands. He no longer wishes to bear the burden by himself. That moment is not a sign of frailty. It is coming to life. For within the depths, hidden beneath the armor of resilience and the facade of control, a spirit yearns for something greater. No further triumphs, not even additional souls, only existence. A gentle reminder that amidst the stillness, life continues to weave its intricate tapestry of meaning. And that's where the divine presence emerges, not with a thunderous roar, but with a gentle murmur. I see you. I have always been aware of your presence. It doesn't arrive with a bang. It arrives when a man, after an extended period, finally lowers his defenses. Perhaps he truly offers his prayers. Perhaps he gently unveils a weathered Bible, its pages whispering tales of old. Perhaps he softly murmurs, God, if you're listening, I need you. In that quiet moment, he makes a choice that transforms everything. Sometimes, the pivotal moment unfolds quietly, without fanfare. At times, the pace can be quite leisurely. At times, one must traverse through extended, quiet periods for many moons before the winds of change begin to stir. Yet, when that moment arrives, it transforms everything. In that hushed instant of yielding, a realm for renewal unfolds. It shatters the illusion that true strength lies in solitude. It shatters the weight of regret that lingers from bygone errors. It shatters the notion that the future holds nothing greater than what is already past. The divine crafts a transformation from the core, nurturing growth that radiates outward. Men who were once characterized by their actions or associations start to discover a fresh sense of self only grounded not in achievement, but in simply being, not in control, but in harmony. And that's when the stillness transforms into something divine, not devoid, without retribution, yet intentional. In that instant, solitude transforms into a beckoning call. When the ache transforms into the fertile ground from which hope starts to blossom anew. And for the first time in a long time, a man might sense a presence in that room not due to someone entering, but because the divine never departed. Here lies the moment of transformation. The pain that lingers is no longer solitary, but is entrusted to a presence capable of bearing its weight. In that moment of connection, tranquility flows in it due to the resolution of life's challenges. But because a heart has chosen to embrace openness, it frequently unfolds in ways you might not anticipate. After what feels like an eternity of waiting filled with prayers, hopes, and doubts, a change starts to unfold. It arrives without the dazzling lights or celestial sights. It emerges from a tiny spark, unremarkable. Perhaps it's a serene pause on a morning stroll, where the air hangs heavy with stillness and the dawn seems to murmur secrets beyond the mere arrival of a new day. Perhaps it's the melody of a long-lost tune drifting through the air that hasn't graced your ears in years, that unexpectedly unearths a memory you believe was long forgotten. Or perhaps it's an unexpected soul sharing a kind word that pierces right through the pain. And suddenly, the stillness that once felt like abandonment transforms into something new, more inviting, gentler, not devoid, but brimming with essence. Ah, the essence of the divine, a tale as old as time itself. He doesn't always enter with a bang. At times, he slips in through the seams of the mundane grocery store aisle, the back pew at church, the late-night drive. In those fleeting moments, a man comes to understand that he is not merely navigating the hours as being chased. Sometimes, the unforeseen occurrence isn't necessarily a grand miracle. At times, it's that undeniable sensation that a higher power is watching over you. He understands your journey, your setbacks, your sorrows, sane, yet still sees you as deserving of his gaze. In a moment of solitude, a man recounted his experience of battling through months of darkness. There he was, perched on his porch, rain cascading around him, lost in the depths of the gray sky above. Silence speaks volumes. There are no prayers, only the hush of stillness. In that moment, a neighbor's dog meandered over and gently rested its head in his lap. In the stillness, there is a bond unspoken, where silence speaks volumes and presence is a gentle comfort. In that moment, he experienced a profound sense of solace. He sensed a deep understanding. A dog was sent to me by the heavens, he remarked later, a chuckle escaping his lips. Yet, his words held a weight of sincerity. A man had been dozing in his recliner for more than a year since the passing of his beloved wife. He stood at the threshold, hesitating to cross into the bedroom, a multitude of memories. Then, on a night like no other, an undeniable urge washed over him, compelling him to step inside. As he turned the doorknob, a wave of tranquility enveloped the room. Not a single tear embraced courage, simply a calm resilience. He lay down in that bed for the first time since the funeral and never returned to the chair again. These are not mere coincidences. They are sacred disruptions. There are instances when the divine softly nudges the soul, whispering, "I'm still present. I have always been here." Sometimes, the unforeseen twists do not mend the circumstances at hand. It doesn't always alter the outside world. Yet, it transforms the individual. For now, his stride has taken on a new rhythm. He prays with a touch more courage. He places his trust with a touch more comfort. He now perceives solitude not as a form of punishment, but as a sacred space where the divine operates with subtlety and strength. And once you've met the divine in the everyday, you start to seek him in every corner of life. When a man ceases to fight against the quiet and begins to truly hear it, everything changes. The silence transforms from a looming shadow into a trusted friend. The once dreaded long nights now transform into a canvas of possibilities, waiting to be painted with dreams. Not because the pain vanishes, But because his eyes unveil a profound reality, this season isn't defined by what's lost, it's illuminated by what's being bestowed. In the beginning, solitude can seem like a defeat. It felt as if the fabric of life had unraveled, love faded. Children set off on their own journeys. Friendship slipped through the cracks, and the relentless passage of time continued its march. Yet, a fresh idea begins to blossom. What if this space is filled with untold wonders? What if it holds a deeper significance? What if the divine hand is not one of punishment, but of preparation? Once, the man gauged his existence through the tangible, his career, his status, his relationships. But now, he finds himself measuring life by the timeless treasures of peace, purpose, and presence. He ceases his efforts to fill the void and begins to embrace the lessons it has to offer. The lessons it imparts are truly profound. He discovers that true strength lies not in the act of keeping everything in place. In moments of true strength, we discover the power of letting go, raising our open hands and whispering, "I may not hold all the answers, yet I place my faith in the one who knows." He begins to realize that identity transcends the roles of husband, provider, or even the notion of being a hero to someone. His value is not defined by his actions, but by the connections he holds dear. He is a beloved child of the divine, intimately understood and passionately cherished. The transformation alters the entire narrative. He awakens without the weight of dread upon him. Instead, mornings transform into cherished opportunities for reconnection. His prayers become more straightforward, yet deeply sincere. Rather than seeking to mend every flaw, he begins to seek transformation within himself. Grant me the gift of patience. Guide me to discern your voice. Inspire me to love others, even in moments of solitude. Even the dynamics of his relationships start to evolve. He ceases the act of feigning contentment and begins to embrace authenticity with the divine. And with those around him, he shares his journey with other men, stepping into the role of a mentor, offering his time to volunteer, or just being there for someone else in their story. The solitude that once set him apart transforms into the bedrock of profound connection. He starts to see the charm in the little moments of bird perched just beyond the window, the joyful giggles of a grandchild echoing through the phone, the soothing embrace of scripture illuminated by the soft glow of lamplight. What once seemed devoid of purpose now radiates with sacredness, for he comes to understand that the divine weaves through every thread of existence. The shift in viewpoint may not eliminate the yearning, yet it brings a sense of redemption to it. Now, he perceives this season as a sacred mission, a moment not squandered, but intricately crafted into a larger narrative. He now moves through life unburdened by the weight of lingering uncertainties. He strides with a serene assurance, fully aware that although the world may turn a blind eye to souls like his, the heavens remain ever watchful. And in that moment of understanding, the space around me begins to fill with a warmth that chases away the emptiness. The bed transcends its mere function. In this sacred space, the divine encounters him night after night, not through clamor, but through a profound presence. When the viewpoint shifts, a remarkable transformation occurs. Unexpected opportunities start to emerge. Sometimes, it's not the faces you anticipated, but rather those who hold deeper significance. What once seemed like a time of solitude transforms into the fertile ground, from which opportunity starts to flourish. It begins with a whisper. Perhaps it's the compelling desire to reach for the phone and connect with someone from your past, a voice you haven't heard in ages. Perhaps it's the moment of stepping into the community center, not merely to be among others, but to offer your support and care. Or perhaps it's simply recognizing that the neighbor down the street also resides in solitude that will benefit from a friendly conversation. This is the way the divine unfolds its plan. He not only mends your heart, but also beckons you to move ahead. He transforms vacant moments into sacred encounters, He transforms suffering into meaning. He imparts the wisdom that within the quiet moments of solitude, there lies a purpose to fulfill, not merely for the sake of survival, but to carve out a lasting legacy. For certain individuals, this journey leads them to embrace the role of a guide, not through a structured program, but by simply being there, offering the unwavering voice that a younger man had always needed. For some, it embodies the spirit of giving, lending a hand to those in need, repairing what is broken for those who cannot, or providing a lift to someone without a means to reach their place of worship. It's not merely about the hustle, it's about contributing in a manner that resonates with a timeless significance. The divine operates in silence, requiring no clamor to enact change. He gathers those who have weathered life's tempests, men with profound reservoirs of wisdom, those who understand the ache of loss, who have traversed solitary paths, and transforms them into steadfast supports for others. In an instant, the existence you believed had come to a standstill transforms into a vital connection. For another soul, this season unveils fresh opportunities for the journey of spiritual growth. Now there's an opportunity to delve into the word profoundly, not from obligation, but from a yearning spirit. In this moment, there exists a sanctuary for prayer unhurried, yet profoundly genuine. And in that journey, a man doesn't merely learn of the divinity, he strides alongside him, each day, softly, with great conviction. And that closeness transforms his perception of opportunity. He takes the initiative, stepping forward without hesitation. He ventures forth into it. He embarks on a journey, not merely filled with hope, but driven by purpose. Instead of yearning to reclaim what has slipped away, I embrace the gifts that the present moment offers. The journey for those who walk alone is far from over. Indeed, some of the most profound creations emerge from them having been liberated from the noise that often clouds the mind. They carry the weight of their past, a testament to their humility. Yet they stand tall, emboldened by their journey of healing. And that's precisely the kind of person who earns the trust of the divine when it comes to wielding influence. Sometimes, the new opportunity may not shine brightly at first glance. It may not be met with cheers, yet it brings a sense of satisfaction, a subtle awareness that this part of the journey remains significant. The final chapter remains unwritten. Each solitary night laid the foundation for this very moment. And as he embraces the purpose, a man discovers this is merely the beginning of his tale. It's the moment when the tale of legacy unfolds. As the days pass, a realization begins to dawn upon Yahweh has transformed into someone unrecognizable from the man you once knew. The pain lingered, yet it shaped him into something more profound. The solitude didn't overwhelm him, it shaped the space for something more profound. Now, as he steps into a room, an unmistakable aura surrounds him. He possesses a calm demeanor, yet stands firmly rooted. He takes his time before sharing his thoughts. Yet when he finally speaks, all ears are tuned in, not due to quantity but due to richness. He has stepped out from the shadows of humor and embraced the weight of difficult discussions. He has embraced the stillness. He has embraced solitude, transforming it into a source of strength. Once a man filled with doubt about his life's worth, he now carries a serene assurance, God's not done with me. And that conviction transformed the entire narrative. He grew in patience, more composed. He pays attention not merely to voices, but to the essence that surrounds them. He perceives deeper truths. He lets go of grudges with remarkable swiftness. He no longer bears the weight of old bitterness as he once did. The moments that once sparked irritation now beckon contemplation. What prompts this question? For his heart has been gently warmed by the embrace of presence, rather than the weight of pressure. He has discovered the art of prayer that encompasses his entire being, transcending mere words. His time, his energy, his resource, they now serve as the offerings he presents each day at the altar of his dedication. And the eyes of the crowd are drawn to it. Though unspoken, the sentiment lingers in the air, palpable and profound. The man who once slipped into the shadows now stands as a steadfast presence for those in his midst. His journey unfolds in the way he navigates through pain. He continues to mourn he's human, but in a different way now. In this moment, grief becomes a bridge, pulling him nearer to the divine. He is no longer shaped by loss. Instead, it is love that guides his journey. Not the fleeting passion of romance, but a love that is divine, unwavering, and everlasting. He embarks on a journey to rediscover fragments of himself he believed were lost forever. Hobbies emerge once more. Joyful echoes resurface, not contrived, but genuine. He tends to his health with newfound reverence, in it for the sake of others, but because he is beginning to see his body as a sacred space, a cherished sanctuary rather than a weight to bear. He exists fully, not in anticipation of another to fulfill him. He strides alongside the one who has journeyed before. From the depths of solitude, a once forgotten soul has unearthed a vibrant identity, flourishing like a flower in rich, nurturing soil. He understands his essence, a servant of the divine, imperfect, uncelebrated, often misinterpreted but steadfast, eager, and present in the world we inhabit today. Such a man is indeed a rarity. He is free from the need to demonstrate his worth. He is fueled by a deep sense of meaning. He now perceives age not as a mere countdown, but as a profound invitation. He remains untroubled by the possessions of others. He dedicates his time to sharing his gifts with those who are in need of them. Amidst all this transformation, one truth remains. He seeks not the spotlight. He is on a quest for loyalty, for he has discovered that the strength of loyalty far surpasses the allure of mere spectacle. That changeth its sacred, profound metamorphosis is a soul who has spent time in solitude with the divine and emerged fortified. At a certain moment, the man who had once regarded solitude as a burden starts to recognize it for what it truly is, a holy time of transformation. He gazes back not with sorrow, but with a deep sense of respect, for now he sees each tranquil night, each prayer left unheard, every moment of stillness held meaning. It was molding him into something new, disassembling what was out of place, and crafting something timeless to take its place. He has embraced the quiet, no longer haunted by its presence. He holds it in high regard. In that profound silence, the essence of identity, purpose, and healing was softly revealed by a divine whisper. While others may have fled from the quiet, he embraced it and emerged transformed, a figure of profound significance, a bearer of stories that would endure. Though the world may still label him as single, by oneself, untethered, yet the heavens bestow upon him a title of profound significance, steadfast, distinguished, cherished. He charts his existence by the unseen moments that shape his journey. He counts it in the subtle triumphs won. He embraced prayer instead of despair, offered service rather than wallowing in self-pity, and chose surrender over bitterness. In the quiet moments, when the world turned a blind eye, he remained steadfast in his devotion, and that unwavering devotion did not escape the gaze of the divine. Now, he exists not to demonstrate his value but to embrace it fully. He has ceased to ponder, "Why do I find myself in solitude?" but proclaims, "Behold the wonders that God has wrought in the stillness. What has been accomplished is truly remarkable." He has transformed a time of anticipation into a wellspring of insight. He has transformed a vacant dwelling into sacred space. He has transformed a man, once ignored by the world, into one whom heaven holds in high regard. The journey continues beyond this point. It marks the dawn of a great tale, a legacy crafted not from surnames, bands of gold, or future security, but from a steadfast belief that endured when all else crumbled. Such men find no solace in the throngs of people. They wander through life unburdened by the need for validation. They take matters into their own hands, forging their own path without waiting for a hero to arrive. With each step, they journey alongside the Savior who has already paved the way. They stand as vibrant examples that one can be complete without a partner, possess worth without a title, and create influence without the need for applause. For when a man walks in harmony with the heavens, when his essence is anchored in the Creator, when he discovers tranquility not in his surroundings but in the divinity he possesses all he needs, he has emerged as the figure that others seek when their world unravels. The one who shares words softly yet commands respect. The one who has traversed the depths and can lead others on their own journeys through the shadows. Not from the pages of a book but from the shadows of experience. He discovered the light to every man who feels as though time has stood still. Listen closely. You are not experiencing a setback. You have undergone a transformation. You are not forgotten. The time has come for you to step forward. You're not merely biding your time, you're actively crafting a life that inspires and transforms those around you. Such a life is always rich with purpose. It holds a deep significance. The world frequently conveys to men that true strength is boisterous, bustling, and perpetually accompanied by a crowd. Yet, both sacred texts and lived experiences reveal a profound truth. Genuine strength is frequently shaped in the stillness of hidden corners. It's not the individual surrounded by many who remain steadfast, but the one who has faced solitude and yet clung to their faith. Loneliness is not a sign of frailty. It beckons you to embark on a journey. It's an opportunity to unveil your true self in the quiet moments, when the world fades away, and the only sound that remains is the whisper of the divine. And as you begin to heed that voice, the world around you transforms in remarkable ways. In the stillness of those nights and the endless stretches of solitude, the divine weaves his most intimate creations. He mends the shattered, uncovers the everlasting, and brings back what has been forsaken. He is not imposing any punishment upon you. He is getting you ready. So if you find yourself a man lying in bed alone, don't be deceived by the notion that your tale has reached its end. It's not over, it's being crafted anew by the only Creator who never squanders a moment. This evening, rather than scrolling, embrace the stillness. Speak to the divine, let your voice rise. If that's what it takes, invite him to share his words. Then unveil the sacred text, even if it's merely a single verse. Allow his word to find you in your current place. This week, seek out a single opportunity to lend a hand to another. It might involve reaching out to a solitary soul, extending a prayerful hand to another, or lending your time to uplift your community. In the quiet moments, these small acts chip away at the barriers that loneliness constructs. And above all, weave a cadence, a daily 15-minute interlude where you welcome the divine into your moments of stillness. Transform your space into a haven, and let your journey be a narrative of inspiration. In those moments of stillness, when you offer your time to the divine, a hidden strength awakens within you, revealing capabilities you never realized were there.